Hello everyone, and I am finally back with a new manga review video. This time I've got One Piece chapter 1156, Idols. And I was looking at the date on this chapter release. It's a month ago. It's been a month. I am so bad at releasing these videos. Speaking of, if you want to keep up to date with One Piece but be like a month behind, I'm your guy. Don't forget to subscribe. But one big advantage of always being late is I get to go back and like reread these chapters and be caught, kind of refresh my memory for the upcoming chapter. Like there's one tomorrow. It's going to be all up to date, and we start with a cover image. We're not doing Ogre Child Yamato this time. This was the really awesome color spread. We've got some nice little parallels where obviously Zoro's next, beneath Rayleigh, and Sanji's on top, above Garban. They're the wings of Luffy, and then Gaban and Rayleigh are the wings of Roger. And obviously you got Luffy in the center, Roger above him. All the parallels, how they contrast each other. And I think Oda just loves Nami or something, because he always draws her really beautifully. Look at her, just sipping her drink. But yeah, great color spread. So yes, we dive into chapter 1156, Idols, and now they're talking about there being a pirate attack, but there's this speech bubble with a heart on it, and the men aren't fighting back. A group of idols roam the seas. Who could they be referring to? You've got men who are beaten up, passed out, but they've still got hearts in their eyes, and it's even affecting the navy. And of course, it's the Kuja pirates. Women from Amazon Lily. Should have seen it coming, really. It's so obvious. So it's not just an Elbaf, Rocks, Harald, Loki backstory now. It's also involving the Kuja pirates. So anyway, we're getting introduced to one of the Kuja pirates, assumingly the leader, the Empress, whatever. And it's Gloriosa, and oh my god, is she a baddie. Look at her. Oh my god, amazing. And it's that old woman that, we saw when Luffy got sent there, pre and post time skip. So she aged into a short old woman, but she, in her youth, was amazing. And look, even of course, very, very similar to Boa Hancock. Even the women are in love with her. Amazing. So anyway, we carry on, and we see that obviously the what are they called? The Kuja pirates. They get plenty of fan mail. Gloriosa gets a carryable bundle, but behind is a much bigger bundle, and it turns out we're introduced to Tritoma, who is two empresses after Gloriosa, and they're all for Shakky. And I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm an idiot and I missed them saying it, but I didn't realize Shakky was actually from Amazon Lily. I didn't. Shakky's ripoff bar in what's that place called again? I've forgotten. Well, it doesn't matter. The place they got wrecked by Kuma, whatever. And I love cute little Gloriosa pouting that she's not the favorite, even though she's the captain, and it's Shakky who's the favorite. Full name Shaku Yaku. Okay, didn't even know that either. I swear, I don't know if this is information that wasn't revealed or I just don't pay attention. It's either I'm an idiot or it wasn't revealed. But it looks like something's even gotten Gloriosa smitten, and it's the Roger Pirates. So she is in love with someone on the Roger Pirates crew. Alright, so Roger enters the scene, and I always love when they show young Roger, and, he's looking like that. He's looking kind of like Shanks mixed with Luffy sort of thing. But his flag, his Jolly Roger always has, like, the whole swirly mustache, even though apparently young Roger doesn't have it. It matches prime Roger, but even before he even started sporting a mustache. But he wants to take Shakky with him. So he's clearly in love with Shakky, and as we find out, the person Gloriosa's in love with is Roger, to an obsessive sort of level. But unfortunately for her, the whole crew apparently are in love with Shakky. So it looks like everyone wants to give Shakky gifts, and even though they, I guess, try and attack her, they fail miserably, and she beats all the monsters on Roger's crew, but basically because they're infatuated with her and they can't fight properly. But damn, look at that view that Roger has. Lucky guy. And yeah, damn, Shakky is a baddie herself. I mean, well, Kuja pirates, Amazon Lily, you'd expect that, I guess. So we see that Shakky, uses her looks and attention to her advantage. She's been very flirtatious with Roger, even though she's not interested. She says here, "But I will belong to no one." And we knew she was a smoker. We've seen future, present day Shakky. She's a smoker. It reminds me of that meme, 10 out of 10 girl, but she smokes, and that is exactly what Shakky is. Gorgeous, but she smokes. And we get a full body shot of her, also very attractive, again, running theme with the Kuja pirates. But clearly, while everyone seems to be infatuated with her, she's only interested in the one guy who is being absolutely normal and not obsessed with her, and that's Silver's Rayleigh. And we know that they end up together in the future, present, whatever you want to call it. But he's freaked out by her little wink of love, I guess. So if it not already been confusing enough that, the Roger and Kuja pirates are sort of fighting, they're not really fighting. The Navy are also showing up now, and Roger immediately is ready to just kind of fuck off. I know he can probably take them, but he doesn't want to bother with them. But then someone relays to him that they see Garp's ship, and he's just like ready for that rivalry. And as we see, they're ready to just fight each other. So their rivalry is legendary and still ongoing at this point. So Roger and Garp start their fighting, screaming at each other, and I love this big half-page shot of them just kind of punching and kicking each other, and it's remarked as the start of their rivalry. Although, judging by how they're already quite there's quite a bit of animosity between them. It's probably been going for a while as well. But this is when they're both still very young. So yeah, they're going at it. So interestingly, the narrator seems to chime in here and defends the inclusion of the Kuja in this backstory, in this kind of flashback backstory sort of thing, saying, the Kuja meanwhile were tremendously popular and an indispensable part of the story of this era. So I don't know if they anticipated people be like, why are we talking about the Kuja? But narrators defending them. And we see in here that Gloriosa has come down with some sort of struggle, some sort of illness. I think they're alluding to her having that love sickness that the Kuja empresses tend to come down with. She's obviously madly in love with Roger. So I guess at this moment she steps down because Shakky is revealed to become empress at this point. We already heard that Tritoma was going to be 2 empresses down. So this is 1 empress down. Shakky is the next empress after Gloriosa and before Tritoma. But just as they defend the Kuja pirates and say they're indispensable to the story, we're going away from the Kuja pirates and back to Elbaf and Loki and Harald and etc, etc. It looks like Loki tried to set out to sea and almost drowned, and the other giants really considered just leaving him. And they've washed up at Ida's bar. And Harald obviously happy that he's been saved. And we just get Ida yelling at the giants for leaving him. And Loki, and they kind of defend it by Loki being brash in his response, and that's the attitude he has. But Ida's sweet, so she obviously wants to make sure he's happy. And we see here at the bottom that she actually invites him to stay with them, and both Loki and Hjörden are both vehemently opposed to this. They hate each other, clearly. What's funny here is I love the dynamic between like Loki, Harald, Ida, and Hjörden. Like Loki insults Ida, accusing her of being just a gold digger who wants to live in the castle by pretending to be Loki's mum, and this angers Hjörden and even Harald, and Ida just thinks it's funny and thinks Loki and Hajurden as being cute. And that's just her spirit. And everyone's like, you got this kid who's upset that Loki's really mean to her, to Ida, but she's not really fussed. And you see here, Loki, obviously, we know he idolizes rocks, but, you know, this is him kind of stressing he wants freedom like rocks. So the obsession is strong, just like Luffy and Shanks. Rocks is his Shanks, essentially. And Rocks would regularly come to Elbaf to beg Harald to join his crew, and where he would turn down Rocks, Loki would beg to join Rock's crew, and Rocks would turn him down. And we see here someone saying, "I'm finally leaving, aren't you relieved? Tell the truth, I hate you, all of you too." And I assume, I can't remember now, but I assume that's probably Loki. So anyway, we're changing scenes again. We're going to Fullerled Island that's been taken over by the Rocks Pirates, and somebody appears to want to join the Rocks Pirates. Now, you know, some lower members of his crew here are kind of making fun of him, saying, you know, that there's the fish. Okay, sorry. The rock that is a skull in the present day is a fish in the past. That's such a random piece of information that they just drop in here, but it's a fish at the moment, and they all hang out on the fish rock or whatever. And you know, they mock this cloaked individual, saying it'll get crazier the further in you get, you'll never make it. And this cloaked individual grabs the guy mocking him, and it turns out it's this intimidating guy called Mobster Kyo, future Silver Axe. It means nothing to me. Actually, you know what, I'll look him up real quick. Okay, I'm not going crazy. He's not been in the story. This is his introduction. He is a rival of Shakky. His future title is Silver Axe. And this is the point where the fish rock becomes the skull rock, because they blow 2 holes in the rock to create basically viewing windows to view the island. So it's now a skull. And we're also going to see what the Rocks Pirates are up to. So Rocks himself reveals one of his goals is to secure 2 devil fruits, but he's not going to name them, but he says that one of them is most likely on Elbaf, and its full power will be unlocked if Harald eats it. So he's still obsessed with getting Harald on the crew, and him eating this specific devil fruit, him specifically for this devil fruit, be a bloody impressive devil fruit. And I suspect it's the one Loki has, or ate, or whatever it was, because, you know, they accused him of killing Harald to get it, didn't they? And we still don't know the identity of that. It's maybe some mythical Zoan, I don't know, but we'll find out in the near future, I'm sure. And then for some reason we get some reintroduction to the Rocks Pirates themselves. So we get Captain John and Linlin talking about looking for these Galilea. Is it Galilea? Galila, whatever. Galila giants, the frozen ice giants or whatever. And they haven't found them yet. And then we've got like Strusen and Whitebeard further talking about these ice pirates. Obviously Strusen, this is young Strusen, the chef of the Big Mom Pirates, and Whitebeard. And then we've got young Kaido and this guy Barbell. I think he's a new one. I don't think we've seen him yet. But interestingly, Kaido suggests just forcing Harald to obey him, and Rocks is immediately just incensed by this and beats the crap out of Kaido. And we see here that he sees Harald as a friend. He says, you know, Harold's my pal. So that's why he was pissed off. You know, he doesn't want to force a friend to join his crew. But the final 2 pages are kind of epic. We get a huge shot of the Rocks Pirates. And I don't know if these shots are to scale. I guess they are. Like, Rocks is quite a large man himself. But look, like, Linlin just towers over her. And, you know, I can't be shocked because Kaido's not that much shorter than Linlin, is she? I know Linlin's tall, but whatever. It's all of them. They look impressive and intimidating. And Rocks just declares that, listen up, folks. Elbaf is the key to taking down the Holy Land. He wants to take down the Holy Land. Fantastic. This guy is great. I love him already. It's up to you. Well, if you want to take down the Holy Land, why did Roger stop him of all people? But anyway, if you don't trust me on that, get lost. It's up to you whether or not you want to follow me on the fateful day of our mission. But if you've got the stones for it, then stick around with me for a bit. I'll show you the peak of the world. And that is where the chapter ends. All in all, solid chapter. I don't know where the significance of the Kuja pirates comes into play. I know that the narrator hammed them up a bit, but I'm like, okay, everyone's infatuated with the Kuja pirates and they're active on the seas. We might see later what they're going to bring to the table. But the important things going on is what the Rocks pirates are up to, and yeah, I want to see more of Rocks. And maybe we'll definitely see it next week, because I remember I've read all the latest chapters, and the flashback, the backstory, it's still ongoing. It's kind of funny. It's a really cool backstory, but it's also taking away from the fact that we were about to get the monster trio plus Loki challenging Imu Gunko, and I want to see how that goes down. But maybe we'll get there soon. But until then, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, as always. Bye for now.